Welcome back, everyone, to Master English Communication. And in this lesson, we'll refresh your vocabulary so you sound clear and professional in the coming year. We'll focus on common words and phrases that make business messages weaker, and we'll replace them with stronger options. And as you watch, you should pause and repeat the better alternatives out loud. This will help build fluency for meetings and emails. So let's get started with the words you should avoid to improve your vocabulary. First, let's just look at why this is important. It's nice to do, but why is it important? Well, in business, people are busy. Clear language saves time and builds trust. And there's some popular phrases that they're not wrong, but they can sound vague, old-fashioned, or unclear. Our goal today is simple. Be specific, concise, confident without trying to sound fancy. No longer do you need to feel stuck using the same words again and again. Right? This happens to all of us as we learn our second or third or more languages. And so you're not alone in this. How to use this guide. Identify weak words. Spot common phrases that dilute your message. Find better alternatives. Choose replacements that fit your voice and context. And practice daily. This is a continuing theme in my recordings. Regular, consistent practice is the way forward. So try them in your next meeting, conversation, or email, right? And you'll see the improvement immediately, and you'll see how you progress on a consistent basis. So let's take a look at corporate cliches to replace. Let's replace three corporate cliches with clearer business English. First one, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we need a plan. How about ultimately we need a plan? This is much clearer. And a better alternative would be, in short, or the bottom line, or the key point is, we need a plan. Number two, going forward. Going forward, please copy me. But what would be better? Starting Monday, please copy me. Much more precise. Better alternatives still. From now on, please copy me. Next, in Q1, please copy me. Number three, touch base, circle back. Let's touch base tomorrow. Okay, but a better alternative would be, let's meet tomorrow at 10. A better alternative from that will be, I will follow up tomorrow at 10, or please reply by Friday at 10. So I hope you see the difference about how this becomes much more specific and concise. Now let's take a look at weak intensifiers and hedges. Very, using the word very plus an adjective. This is very common, but stronger words are shorter. Crucial, very important. Very fast, rapid, right? Essential. And then another one is kind of, sort of. I'm kind of ready. What would be better is I'm 80% ready. Hedges. Reduce credibility, commit, or quantify. We don't want to hedge. Basically, basically, we missed the deadline. You don't need to say basically. That once again, that brings in this sort of fuzzy element, vagueness. Just say we missed the deadline, right? The word basically is many times just a filler, so just be direct. Literally, for emphasis. I literally died. Well, no. Instead, say something very specific and realistic, such as, I was shocked. Use truly, or I was truly shocked. In fact, I was shocked. Or don't have to put anything in front of it, just say, I was shocked. Now, if you're finding this helpful so far, please give us a like. Thank you. Vague language to clarify. And when I say to clarify, these are words that hide your real meaning. We don't want to do that. We want to be clear, remember? So, in terms of, this is wordy and indirect. In terms of budget, we're tight. Well, that's wordy and indirect, actually. Regarding budget, we're tight. Now, this is much more to the point. Also, you can try about the budget, we're tight. For the budget, we're tight. On the budget, we're tight. Thing and stuff. These are vague words, once again, that hide your meaning. That thing isn't working. That login feature isn't working. Name it. Name the feature, the document, the contract, the risk. And in business, even though you may work with people all the time, and so they may actually know most of the time what thing or stuff actually means, that's not all the time. So being specific is actually a benefit for everyone 100% of the time. In order to, so replace that with simpler, cleaner approaches. This is just extra words. In order to improve results. Okay, well, better to say to improve results. Simple is better. Fillers that undermine confidence. Actually, can sound condescending. Actually, the meeting is Friday. Instead, say something such as, to clarify, the meeting is Friday. You know, signals uncertainty. It's, you know, a problem. No, be clear. It's a problem. Just. This is used many times as a softener. Makes requests sound timid. Just checking if you saw this. Just say, checking if you saw this. Just be direct. I think, I feel every sentence. Overhedging weakens arguments. I think this might work. This will work because costs dropped 12%. Tone adjustments for professional settings. And by the way, before I continue here, even though this session is devoted to people who are non-native English speakers who are improving their English, whether that's going from intermediate to lower level advanced or beyond, or beginner to intermediate. The truth of the matter is, many times you might be thrown off because native English speakers make these mistakes that I'm bringing up. So you're going to sound much more professional because as you move through professional environments, the higher up you go, the more will be demanded of you by management and peers and clients to be professional and precise. So now let's come back to tone adjustments for professional settings. Sorry, but when not at fault. Okay. Sorry, but I need more info. Instead, say, could you share a bit more info? Try thanks for your patience. Could you share a bit more info? Appreciate the update. Could you share a bit more info? See the difference? Next, we have as per my last email. Quick follow-up on Tuesday's note. Don't put it on the other person to look around for whatever your last email was. Just tell them when it was. Helpful reminders don't need to sound passive aggressive. No worries. Now, this is after serious issues. No worries, we lost the file. Well, yeah, there is worry because you lost the file. Instead, I'm on it. I'll retrieve the file now. Okay, very direct, very precise, gives a solution. You can also try, you're welcome. I'll retrieve the file now. I'm happy to help. I'm on it. I'll retrieve the file now. Now we have words that accidentally exclude or dismiss. Jargon. Okay, so jargon, when you're speaking to someone who is not an expert, is a problem. It sounds like you're excluding or dismissing because they may not understand. Acronyms and buzzwords can exclude people, so make sure if you're in mixed company, expert and non-experts, colleagues and non-colleagues, etc., that you're being very clear about what you're saying. Leverage synergies to optimize KPIs. That's an example of acronyms and buzzwords. But this says the same thing and is much clearer to people who are experts and non-experts. Work together to improve our key metrics. Obviously, of course, can sound dismissive to learners. Obviously, we need approvals. Well, if someone is learning and doesn't know, right? We're not born with business knowledge, we learn it. Well, this can sound negative or condescending. We don't want that. For context, we need approvals. Now you're letting the person know this is something that's important to keep learning. Next, we have to be honest, frankly. Implies you weren't honest before. To be honest, the plan is risky. See what I mean? Well, okay, to be honest now, the plan is risky, but I wasn't honest before. Right? So you don't want to say that. Stay away from this one when you're trying to be clear and honest. And just say the plan is risky. So your action or your action plan for better communication. Pick 3 to 5 words or phrases to change. Okay? Don't try to fix everything at once. A little bit at a time, be consistent, practice regularly or daily. This is my continuing theme, right? Choose the phrases you use most and start there. Test them this week, right? Don't wait. The knowledge fades very quickly. If you're using it, it doesn't fade. Use your new words in emails, meetings, or casual conversations. Notice how people respond. Build your vocabulary habit. Strong communication is a skill you develop over time. Keep refining, stay specific, and your message will land with clarity and confidence. Keep a short list of new favorites and review it weekly to build a strong vocabulary habit. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It helps us help you. And I will see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.